Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Indie Music Issues. My name is Björk from Benedictson, and I'm the author of Step by Step Mixing and You Get What You Give. You can find those books in the description below. And I run Audio Issues, which is my platform that helps musicians and producers confidently finish their mixes so they can be proud to release their records. And I'm here with Ryan. What's up, Ryan?
How's it going, guys? As you know, I'm Ryan from the Indie Music Academy, the channel here on YouTube where we uncover the mysteries of the music industry, learn how to grow a larger fan base, and earn an income from our music. And I'm so glad that you guys are here today live. As you might know from past streams, this is one of our favorite things to do because we get to interact with you in real time over the chat. So in case you're wondering, yes, this is live. This is not pre-recorded. And why don't you just drop in really quick, as usual, just drop in your name, say, hey, we have a great topic today. If you're on either of our email lists, you got a little teaser. But we didn't give too much away, and we're going to dive really deep into this really cool topic about luck and what luck means for your music business, how you can actually create your own luck and become an extremely successful and lucky person. And it's not random. So that's the best part. So thank you for tuning in today.
Yeah. So create my own luck. Tell me more, Ryan.
Yeah. So basically, luck is this funny thing that, luck is a huge thing in our culture. As Americans, we say it every day without thinking. It's kind of like just in our everyday vernacular. Find money on the ground, like, oh, you're so lucky, or you're so lucky for getting that dream job, or you're so lucky for meeting this person, this opportunity, and there's actually a bunch of different kinds of luck that we experience every day, and we kind of just group it all together. It's kind of like luck becomes this big placeholder word that's non-specific. So today, I actually want to break it back apart and become more specific about what luck can actually mean in our lives and for our music businesses. So there's actually three common types of luck that you probably know, but then there's a fourth kind of luck that most artists don't know about. Most artists are not really utilizing, and that it's actually the most important type of luck that you can actually harness, you can create for yourself. You and I have done this. We figured it out either on accident or on purpose. But we were talking about this fourth kind of luck that is it's extremely crucial for success. So first, let's talk about the three types of luck that we talk about often. So the first type of luck, it's the one that's, it's like finding money on the ground, dumb luck, right? Random chance, right? It's the stuff that you don't prepare for. It's kind of when circumstances just align and you become lucky. It could be, meeting someone on the street. It can be just the stars aligning and then something happens to you. But that's completely out of our control. Dumb luck, well, as the name suggests, is completely, dumb to planning. It's completely dumb to strategy. And so that's the first type of luck, and it's completely out of our control. So there's no point trying to focus on increasing our dumb luck. It's just something that it's not really a lever you can pull. Now, the second kind of luck is where we actually start to enter into this area of we can actually start to control and manipulate things a little bit. And the common cliche for the second kind of luck is this idea of fortune favors the bold. And this is super important because, as we see, there's a lot of people out there who kind of, they carry themselves in a way, or they take risks, right? The bold element of this is pretty synonymous with being kind of on the edge of what, the average person will be willing to do.
Trying stuff out and pushing
exactly.
Getting out of your comfort zone, those sorts of things, right?
Exactly. So you can actually increase that a little bit by, exactly what you said, experimentation, running tests, right? If you're doing marketing, they'd be doing things like giving Facebook ads a chance and stuff like that, right? Stuff that the average person isn't really willing to do or willing to learn. And speaking of learning, the third type of luck is the cliche that chance favors the prepared mind, right? And so that's where we kind of take a step in this direction where we can actually control our luck a bit more, where you can actually take classes, you can prepare yourself, you can plan ahead, create calendars, maps, guides. Right. And what we're entering into is this world where if you are prepared, if you're educated, if you have a direction and a trajectory, then you can actually control a lot of your luck, right? So we went from dumb luck, which is completely out of your control, to fortune favors the bold, right? So you can kind of control the amount of risk you're willing to take on. But then we move from risk to preparation. Chance favors the prepared mind is the common saying.
Right.
And
it's kind of I want to talk about it. Like, sometimes you tend to there's a saying throw stuff at the wall and see what sticks, right? Actually, a terrible way to make spaghetti, but that's sort of the first step. Is okay, let's try everything or anything and see what sticks. That's sort of all right, you might get dumb lucky and see what sticks there, and maybe a couple things stick and out. So then you take those things and you keep throwing stuff at the wall, and then but you have these other two things that work, and kind of creating a repertoire of things that are working based on experimentations or things that you found out through random chance at the beginning, but they were proven to be, you were lucky to find them, but you weren't lucky. But luck has nothing to do with continuing to use them or continuing to sort of hone that to your advantage, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I tell my Facebook ad students, where it's if they kind of come up with a winning ad the first time, then that's kind of like the blind dumb luck. It's wow, that's lucky. You just happened to set it up perfectly the first time. But then, there's actually a continuation of that where it's okay, well, you started out in a pretty good place. Maybe you started out here when we were expecting to be here, but then we need to take your luck to the next level. We actually start A/B testing and do the third type of luck, right? Where you have to make the preparations and really take it to the next level. And so you don't always want to just rely on your dumb luck for all of your opportunities, when the world doesn't really operate that way. Dumb luck is kind of like winning the lottery type of thing. You don't want to rely on winning the lottery.
Right.
So I want to introduce the fourth type of luck that's the most important. But before we do, I want to dive into the chat. We have a couple people saying, hey, what's up, Quentin? Thanks for tuning in. Cliff is here. Thanks so much. And Mark, this is live. So definitely post your questions in the chat. We will do a Q&A today. Per usual, always love to dive into your questions. And for anyone else who's just tuning in, go ahead and just say hey and just start leaving your questions so that we can have a backlog for when we get to that at the end.
Sounds good.
So before I dive into this last type of luck, I just want to ask the audience that's tuned in right now, where are you at with something called a brand? Okay, and I'm introducing this idea of a brand because it actually plays a really important role in the fourth kind of luck. But I want you to drop into the chat either I work on my brand every day, or this is something that's on my to-do list, or I don't really care about building a music brand at all. I really want to gauge where we're at today. So let me know kind of where you stand on this whole creating a brand element of setting up your music career. Because the fourth kind of luck, it actually doesn't really have a common cliche like the other ones. I can't just say oh, the fourth type of luck is, fortune favors the bold, or, some kind of slick little thing. And it's kind of weird how in, our culture, this fourth type of luck, it never really caught on and never really got a slogan. And it's because it's not really in the limelight. It's not really something that is talked about very much. But the fourth kind of luck is it's all about building your character in a certain way so that your character creates a certain result. And so that's not slick. but I'll say it again. It has to do with the unique way that you move and the unique way that you act in the world, aka a brand. And so the fourth kind of luck is actually creating an entity, a brand that supersedes, just your singular person, right? And as musicians, we do that. As musicians, we create a fan base around something that's more than just our music. It's more than just our lyrics. It's more than just our personalities. It's all of those things combined. And it's the way that we move through the world. And so I would love to know what you guys think of that and where you currently are. Here's the thing with this fourth type of luck, creating a brand. The unique character that you move into the move through the world, right? The unique way that you set up your music brand, that the unique way that you interact with your fans, it really is going to set you up in a few ways. For one, you are going to become trusted, reliable. You're going to be seen as someone who can be partnered with, right? If we're talking about record labels, right? Like record labels partner with artists. And then the definition of luck starts to transform into this other word, which is kind of a weird word, but I'll use it anyways. Again, this is not really so popular in our culture, but your luck actually starts to turn into your destiny in a weird way, right? So follow me on this. Let's take an artist like Beyonce, who is incredibly successful, as we all know.
Yeah.
But Beyonce is not necessarily a lucky person anymore. There was a lot of choices that were made that led into her becoming this superstar. And now, Beyonce isn't lucky for selling out stadiums, for selling out, making platinum records and all this stuff. That's her destiny now. She built her character and her brand in a certain way to where her luck actually turned into her destiny. Okay. Right. And it's because she's trusted, she has lots of deals. Her integrity and reputation that she's built up is one that is reliable, that people would want to partner with. And so you can actually start creating your own luck when you start building your own music brand. And that's what Björkfin and I have done as well. Not necessarily in the way Beyonce has, but you're here because, Björkfin has audioissues.com. I have the indiemusicacademy.com. And it's the same thing. These concepts are universal. So that they apply to almost any niche, music, coaching, producing, songwriting, whatever it is.
Well, it's not lucky that people our sites every day and sign up to our email list, buy our books, or sign up for courses. Or it has nothing to do with luck. It has to do with, like, I was lucky to find an idea once that worked and continuing on that idea. But at that point, it becomes like a methodology of understanding how the platform, like how you can use your platform to sort of, you just like kind of plant your flag on the internet, really. And then you say, like, I'm here for so-and-so. And if you want to learn from me, then and I'll share my knowledge, and hopefully people will find that knowledge on, social media and or Google or wherever. And then, through a series of steps, you develop those people into audience, your audience or your fans or your subscribers, your customers, whoever, right? And
absolutely.
Although you may be like, oh, I really lucked out on doing something first, it's really always a matter of like redefine or reflecting on what it is that worked and then doing it over again. Basically, like taking that, like reflecting, redefining, and moving forward with it to sort of replicate whatever success you had in the past, and then with an eye on maybe pivot or like tweaks and improvements or something else. Actually, one of the things that I talk about a lot in the You Get What You Give book, and one thing that's actually in the worksheets that you can download if you read the book, there's a bunch of worksheets that I offer you if you sign up to the list afterwards. That there's this thing called the success check-in, and it's just a series of questions that I ask myself every week. During I have a Friday morning mastermind, and it's basically just a matter of like these 5 questions sort of help me think back a week and think forward a week. And it's like, what worked, what didn't work, like what am I proud of, what needs to do, like what do I not need to do any longer, and what's the priority for next week. So it's a sort of a cycle of success in a way, and you take that beginning blind luck and you turn it into a sort of a mindset machine, if you think about it that way.
Yeah. No, actually, I love that because it is kind of a progression. You know, we talked through the 4 types of luck, right? Increasing from blind luck all the way to luck that you can actually control. And, you know, I actually never thought of this, but you just said it now. It is kind of like a process. It's like every time that you have a little bit of, you know, blind luck or dumb luck, right? You can actually turn that into a process that actually creates future opportunities over and over and over again.
Right.
And it's funny, you know, you talked about some of the blind luck that you had early on at Audio Issues, and it was the same way for me, you know, at the Indie Music Academy, where the very first kind of like successful video that I had on YouTube, it was pretty much a dumb luck thing where I didn't really make the video knowing that it was going to blow up.
Yeah.
And, you know, thankfully, you know, and I'm sure that this happens more times than we can count, where the opportunity is just like completely wasted, you know, because it's not taken to that next level, you know. So for example, like if I had never followed up with making more videos of the similar kind of like style,
yeah,
then I would not have graduated to the next kind of luck, which is like, you know, fortune favors the bold. Like I was bold enough to like invest in actually making more videos, which is actually, you know, takes up a lot of time. It's a risk, right?
Right.
And then also the third type of luck, right, taking it to the next level, learning SEO, right, search engine optimization, right? Chance favors the prepared mind. So it's not dumb luck anymore that I'm getting, you know, subscribers on YouTube and getting traffic on YouTube because I upgraded the luck. Fortune favors the bold. I decided to go all in on the channel, and then chance favors the prepared mind. I learned SEO and I increased my possibility of actually getting traffic because of search engine optimization. So that was actually a connection that I just made right now, but
right.
Yeah, that's why these live things are so good.
A lot of it starts with like what if questions, right?
Mhm.
Like, what if I do this? Like, what if people like this? Let's see. Let's find out. And then you develop from there in a way. And you like, I think you should, if you're building a brand, there's a lot of people out there that just, they want to do their own quirky sense of creativity, and without ever thinking about, you know, building an audience. But at the same time, they kind of feel frustrated with the fact that they're overlooked. And it's because they actually aren't focusing on, you know, giving something to people that might be interested in it. You know, that's maybe a bit of a tangent, but it's you can definitely decrease your luck by always going in the opposite, always just ignoring what, you know, is working either already in your industry or already or ignoring what is working when you are putting stuff out there. So if you're like constantly pushing the envelope, always want to do some quirky thing, I wouldn't be surprised if you end up with a lot of really random stuff and no methodology to create your own luck with.
Yeah, that's a really good point. There's something that I heard this week on the Ari's Take podcast that I thought was really relevant to our topic today.
Yeah.
So I kind of like made a mental note, but the guy that he was interviewing was Ricky Montgomery, and he said something that was like super good where he was basically talking about the content creation and, you know, kind of like getting lucky, you know, he's a signed artist. And so, but his point that I took away is that a lot of artists are afraid to implement some kind of like extra content creation or extra brand that works alongside of their music and like Ricky Montgomery, he was on Vine, and so he kind of did funny videos parallel to his music. But it almost comes to the point where it's like, are you going to be so pure to whatever your perfect image of whatever you think is like the purest form of artistry,
Yeah.
and never find any traffic, fans never get stumbled upon?
Right.
Or are you going to do the alternative, which is, create a brand that's bigger than yourself? Dabble in different types of content creation, do the testing that we're talking about, follow the dumb luck, and kind of unpack it until it turns into something that you can actually control. And so I thought that was super, super wise that, a lot of times we shut out a lot of our possibilities for finding opportunities. A lot of times we shut out huge categories of being lucky. It's just because we have this idea of what we think our music career should be.
Yeah. Right.
And so that was just a huge light bulb for me, because once again, I realized, oh, I actually did that right. I didn't realize it at the time, but thank goodness he said this, because it actually is like, a nugget of information now that can be like internalized and shared, and, shared on this channel. But it's such a smart thing to do, to almost like have your, like your weapons in your arsenal, like, what am I going to do today that is going to increase my chances of becoming discovered, and it's not going to be just like playing guitar all the time, I'm not just going to be doing covers or just posting original music. So
right.
It's crazy.
Jarrett here is talking about, his two versions of luck. And his second one is that luck is the intersection of preparation and timing. Preparation on opportunity, another way to put it. And I can't remember what that quote is from, where that quote is from, but that's basically what we're talking about. Is like being prepared, understanding that when something like hits you and you're like, oh shit, if something like falls into your lap due to dumb luck, like, know what to do with it. Right. And he also says, like, historically, went to a casino and was lucky, and this can't be used to the future or present. There's no magic luck. Yeah. Like, what does every bank account or every mutual fund say? Like, past results, no guarantee of future earnings. But in a way, that's also an interesting way to think about it. And this is not necessarily like, it's like some funds, they'll like invest in, let's say they'll invest in two stocks, and then one drops down, one goes up. They dump the loser, and then they keep the winner, and then they buy another stock, and then they keep sort of buying the winners, to the point where they can almost market themselves as being super successful, even though they lost a bunch of money along the way and just like dumped the losers. So that's a way of thinking about it, but a little too hedge fundy maybe.
That's right.
Yeah. Mark Lopez asked if things are live or recorded. We are live every Tuesday at 11 a.m. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, so I'd love to kind of get some more engagement in the chat. I know you guys are watching, but again, this makes it so much more worth it when you guys interact with us. We love to dive into your questions. Otherwise, we can just film a pre-recorded video and have it edited to perfection if that's what you guys prefer. But so today we're talking about the different kinds of luck. I would love to know if you guys are actively working on this fourth type of luck, which is building your music brand, creating a unique way that you move through the world with your music. And I would love to know if this is something that you're currently working on, or something that is kind of not really that important to you right now. And I'd love to dive into that with you guys who are watching.
Yeah.
And yeah, otherwise we can always go off topic as well. We love doing a Q&A at the end. We can always bump that up, but this is your time.
Yeah.
We want to do this just to serve you guys and to just give you an opportunity to interact And so that's you're an invitation to just dive right in, and we're here for you.
Right.
And yeah.
Jared is asking if we do any cryptocurrency. Do you dabble in crypto, Ryan?
No,
No.
I don't have that much dumb luck.
Yeah, I have.
I'd rather control my luck.
Yeah, that's also one of the things we can, I'm thinking about it. So I have some cryptocurrency that I invest in, but it's all on autopilot just for fun. Like obviously not doing it to create a retirement portfolio or anything like that. But that's an interesting way of thinking about luck too, is not just from a crypto sense, but also from a retirement sense, and like thinking about things in compound interest, because compound interest is a very powerful force in the world, especially when it comes to investments and savings and things like that. And one of the things I learned at a very early age from Ramit Sethi over at I Will Teach You to Be Rich and Growth Lab was to just try to set your investments up and then just kind of forget about them. Let everything just automatically invest in the background. Because if you have a thing on your schedule every month to, put things into your 401k or IRA or Roth IRA or savings account or wherever, if you have to do all that manually all the time, you're going to forget, and it's going to be bumped off the to-do list. And then 10 years go by and you could have invested $100 to $500, $1,000, whatever you have to actually spend, put aside. We're not spending this money. That's also a common misconception, is like, oh, I need to use that money. It's like, well, how about you use it in the future? But set it up so that you find a moderately well and you just start investing in like an ETF, an electronically traded fund, and then you just set that up to invest, however many hundreds of can do every month, and then you forget about it, and then you actually adapt your lifestyle to not having that money, because you forgot that you you set up a robot to take it away from you before you spend it, and which I'm sure future you will be will feel lucky that you did that,
Seriously.
So yeah, I mean, not to go too deep into retirement savings accounts and ETFs and things like that, but that is equally important to a long career, is to actually put money aside, like pay your future self first in a way, and then take the rest of the money and spend it on beer.
Well, that's actually
blockchain and Bitcoin.
That's a really good point, though, because that's like an exact example for that fourth type of luck, creating your character in a certain way, right? So like, if it's exactly what you said, if you create your character and your lifestyle in a way where it's like, I'm going to pay my future self first, I'm just going to live on the overflow, well, your luck is turning into your destiny at that point, because you've been making this decision consistently over the years, right? So it's your destiny that you're going to have. Well, I don't know if this is accurate math, but $2 or $3 million by the time you retire,
right?
Because you built your life that way.
Yeah.
And that's not luck anymore. Yeah, that's crazy. That's great.
Quentin is working on his brand. Take one of your courses to help with that.
Always here to help.
Constantine is back. He was a member of the Insiders.
Oh, nice.
He likes this topic. Been thinking about these things lately. Yeah. So a lot of luck has to do with action, and you get more luck the more active you are. That doesn't mean buying a lottery ticket every day.
I know. You just be buying into the worst type of luck, the dumb luck, over and over again. That's not the one that you want to buy into. You want to buy into the upper stages of luck.
Yeah. And Because like if you think about it, there's a difference between paying for something and hoping for the best, and paying for something because you're investing in yourself for the future. Whether that is, doing ETFs and getting a good retirement account going, or just investing in your skills, taking a class and applying what you learn. I'm amazed at people that buy courses and then never what they learn. They feel like they just wanna have the course somehow that solves their problem, when in fact you have to actually apply it and do your work.
Yeah, and buying a course gets you, it like shortcuts you all the way to the third type of luck, right? It's the chance favors the prepared mind, right? So once again, dumb luck, the bottom type of luck, lottery ticket, you don't ever want to really invest in that.
Right.
Then fortune favors the bold, right? So just the fact that you're releasing music, putting it out there on DistroKid, making these bold moves, that's the second kind of luck. A lot of people just start there. The third type of luck is chance favors the prepared mind, right? So if you buy a course, you're already cutting the line in a big way, but only if you apply it,
Right.
And then the fourth type of luck is building the brand that we've been talking about.
Yeah.
So
Jarrett asks, when was the last time you played live with a new stranger? Man, I haven't played live in close to 2 years now.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't really.
A year and a half. Yeah.
If you mean like performing in front of an audience, I haven't done that since before COVID, but I have like jammed here in the studio recently with some new people. That was fun. So it's depending on how you categorize it, recently or a long time ago.
Yeah. Constant asks about website suggestions with investments and ETFs and stuff. Well, I mean, I think a good place to start is the scammily named but very helpful I will teach you to be rich.com. Because he does have, and the book of the same name is really, really useful. Ramit's a great guy, very successful person. I've taken a lot of his courses, and they have actually helped me quite a bit when it came to building my brand and my platform.
Yeah. It's so funny. It's scammy name, but legit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Quentin says, well, it's sort of confirming what we said before, is like, getting out of your comfort zone and seeing what other opportunities there are, because, opportunities is just luck waiting to happen in a way. You can think of it that way.
Right. There's a lot of opportunities that are out there every day, right? Everyone has a need. Everyone is trying to connect to their own dot, right? It's kind of like the deep sea diver analogy.
Oh yeah.
Have we talked about this on the channel?
No, we haven't. I'll find the song to post on the chat while you talk about that.
Yeah. So this is the perfect example, because this translates to music almost perfectly. But the deep sea diver analogy is basically, if someone finds, a sunken boat full of gold, right? Treasure at the bottom of the ocean, right? That is dumb luck, right? Because they just happen to stumble upon it. Maybe they were scanning, maybe they just put in a lot of time, right? That would be the equivalent of just buying your lottery ticket over and over and over again. You're just kind of spending your time on all this dumb luck, right? But let's imagine that they find this, chest of gold at the bottom of the ocean, this sunken ship, and they need to retrieve that gold, right? So their dumb luck is now going to get transferred to an expert, the deep sea diver, who is an expert in retrieving that gold from the bottom of the ocean floor. Right. Okay, so if you are the deep sea diver, then their dumb luck just became your luck, because of the skills, the brand, the trust, and the integrity in these deals. If you have a reputation of being the best deep sea diver in the world, this is going back to like the Beyonce analogy that we said earlier, right? But if you're the best, and you have that fourth kind of luck where you've built your character in a certain way, so other people's dumb luck will get transferred to you.
Right.
And that's how you can actually, that's basically how building a brand works. Other people are trying to connect the dots all the time, but they'll want to do deals through you because you're a trusted long-term deal maker. And they will want to book you for tours. They will want to sign you to record deals. They will want to sync your song in a Chase Bank commercial or at the end of TV show credits, right? Because you're a trusted long-term deal maker through your music brand.
Yeah.
And so that's so important to understand.
And if you think about it, like, when you bring up Beyonce, it's like, well, the list of acts that can like is very, very short, right? It's just it's only the biggest bands that, so like, and then take a Bonnaroo festival poster or a music festival poster, for instance, like a big Coachella or Bonnaroo or any of those, like only the top headliner acts are even like close to the level of being the halftime act at the Super Bowl, right? And so because you've worked so hard towards a very specific thing, when someone asks you for that very specific thing, Super Bowl, deep sea diving, anyway, whatever, right? Then you are on a very, very short list of who people can call.
That's right. And then you get a part of the loot.
Yeah.
Cut of the gold.
Yeah, I think that I need to level up. I feel like I needed to get more specific. Maybe I need to be an expert in really obscure Icelandic rock bands. But I guess there are people that are already experts in that, and that probably isn't very much money in that, really.
Did you see Eurovision?
The movie?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Was it cool?
It's 100% authentic. Like,
okay, that's what I want to hear about.
It's like, this is exactly how we act around here. It's such a good movie.
It's so funny.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I actually watched the Husavik song yesterday in preparation for the Oscars.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because now Will Ferrell really has a chance of having an Academy Award because he's a part of that song.
That's a back door.
Yeah, I know, right? Very funny.
Oh, that's so funny. Yeah.
Yeah. What else? What else can we talk about here?
Dude, I pretty much am good as far as talking about luck. I mean, if you guys want to bring up in the chat maybe some opportunities that are on your plate, maybe we can talk about ways that you're trying to connect the dots, make deals. We're here to help you brainstorm.
That you're working on? Is there like a decision that you're working on that you need help with? Because there's always one thing about decision making too, is that sometimes you're deciding between doing A or doing B, overlooking the third decision, which is doing nothing. And sometimes that is the thing to do, especially if both of the opportunities in front of you are not that exciting, but they are just like the thing that you think you should be doing. So don't overlook the opportunity cost. Going back to what we've talked about in the past, don't overlook that. If you're making a decision, any decision you make has an opportunity cost of anything else you could have done instead of that. And sometimes doing nothing is actually more valuable than deciding to do something, because it sets you up for a future opportunity down the road.
Yeah. Jarrett has an interesting question.
Yeah.
So what's the best / worst luck you have had meeting a new musician? That's an interesting question. Well, I can definitely tell you the worst kind of luck. It's opportunity cost based. It's like, as a producer, there's always the risk that you can spend a lot of time working on something and it's going to go nowhere. if the artist like doesn't have their heart into it, or they, are, always trying to kind of take the shortcuts. And so for me, like, and this is like a totally blessed place to be, but if I accidentally work with an artist that is, not serious enough, that's a huge, it's a huge waste. And it's exactly the opportunity cost. Like it turns into bad luck, because if another opportunity comes along and I'm like, I can't, I have so much on my plate, kind of working with someone who doesn't have their heart into it, and then a real great opportunity passes by, that's bad luck, right? And that's unfortunate. But on the other hand, I mean, the other half to that question is the exact opposite. It's when, I do find a great artist and, things are really working, and, it feels like good luck, but what it really is an alignment in vision, alignment in kind of goals, and how much we both care about the project. And then it'll, inevitably take off and do better, because both of our heart and soul is invested into it. So,
one thing that happened to me the other day, yeah, I think it was like 5-6 years ago, is so I went to drinks with a musician, and she ended up telling me like, oh yeah, our bass player just quit, and so we really want to go on tour with this new album that we're coming out. And we had just met at like kind of a conference here in town, and we were chatting about that, and she was telling me the story, and she was like, yeah, I just really wish I had a bass player. And I'm a guitar player predominantly, first and foremost, but I was like, I can play bass. So I like kind of lied and said like, well, I mean, fortune favors the bold, right? It's like, I mean, I'll play bass. Like, I have a flexible schedule. I'll go on tour. And so just like the random happenstance of meeting her and deciding to be the person that, might be a little bold in saying like, I'll play bass, but then I just went home and learned all of the songs and learned what was required of me. There is a skill transfer from a guitar player to a bass player. I can't slap or play funk or anything like that. Luckily, it was an Americana band, so I just had to play the 1 and 5 and runs. But that opened up an opportunity for me to become a touring musician. We toured the Southwest, all the way north to San Francisco, all the way east to Austin. And, that year we also went up to Alaska, spent a month in Alaska, and like toured around Alaska just because of a random, whiskey at 3:00 in the afternoon after a conference.
Yeah.
And that's sort of, that's a story that hopefully you can inspires you in some way to be bold about what you can commit to. But also you can't fake it till you make like the only way to fake it until you make it is to actually, work it or practice in between. Like faking it until you make it works if you work at it. If you actually go from faking to making through continuous improvement and practice and all that.
Otherwise, you can only just fake it for so long till you get found out.
Before you get found out. Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah, man. So, yeah, how to build our luck to push our song to the radio playlist, etc. I think, it comes down to the amount of conversations you're having. Like, how many people are you reaching out to in order to get people to listen to you, to play you, and all that? And you also have to be methodical about like the value of the person listening. Like a radio DJ is a more valuable person for your end goal than just like a random person on the street you want to play your mixtape to or whatever, which is an absurd marketing strategy. But thinking about like, okay, who, like, I want to get on the radio. Okay, like the radio isn't some like some entity or whatever. There are people that work there. Like, who are the people that work there? Who are the, like, what kind of shows are there? Are there shows that play my particular type of music?
Mhm.
Who are these people? What is their contact information? Do I know anybody who knows anybody, or should I just cold email them? And really just about like the connections and the relationships and the conversations and the outreach that you're doing increases your luck, because you're basically fly fishing with like an army of fishing rods, right? You're trying to get somebody to like email you back or bite, if you will. I always feel like the fishing analogy is kind of insulting to the person that you're trying to create a relationship with. uh,
Yeah.
but it's really just about, you know, putting your feelers out there, and then hopefully, well, sooner or later it becomes a probability or a numbers game. You can increase your probability of success through like, do I know somebody who knows somebody? Can I can I do my research and do my you know just like there are more, like a DJ is more valuable, or radio DJ is more valuable than the person on the street. The radio DJ who plays your specific blend of music is more valuable than the radio DJ that does not. So like
Mhm.
you want to be
Mhm.
thinking just about who the person is. Like what does success look like? Is it being played on the radio by somebody in particular? Is there a specific radio station? If you're an indie artist, community radio stations are a much better bet than trying to go after like a clear channel conglomerate, because that's a much harder fight. But like, I have KXCI here in town. You have Lightning 100 in Nashville. Uh,
Mhm.
and these are indie stations in a way. And I'm sure that there are locals, or like local radio shows that play only local music like they do here in town. So you
Mhm.
want to think of like, what's your network? Who are in your network? Like, who's in the landscape that you're trying to be in? Like, you have to understand the players in the network of your career.
Yeah. Yeah, that is a great question, Quentin. And the strategy, right? So if you're trying to build your luck up, well, you want to make sure that you're using a strategy that's kind of one of the higher levels of luck, right? So, you don't want to just to continue the fishing analogy, you don't want to just cast your line out randomly, because that's dumb luck. That's working on the lowest level, right?
Yeah.
You know, maybe it's in between 1 and 2, because, I guess you are being, bold by putting yourself out there. But, if there's no strategy, right? If there's no preparedness, research, then you're never really hitting into that third level of luck, where you actually are a bit more in control, where you're more strategic about it. And then just to bring in the fourth kind of luck, if you spend time kind of at the third level of luck, and you're researching the right people to reach out to, the right influencers, the right radio DJs, whatever, but you don't have your unique brand, you're kind of undercutting all of your effort, because there's no reason to play your music, right? So music doesn't exist in a vacuum. Every song has the artist, and the artist brand is hugely important when it comes to decisions like this. If people want to get behind artists that they believe in, and they believe are going to stick around. Because imagine you're on the other side. If you're a radio DJ really hyping up this artist, going to be the next big thing, I'm going to play their track a lot, and then they don't release another song, ever, or they don't release a single for 2 years, and there's no consistency, and there's no, trust and reliability around that music brand. That's going to pull the floor out from all the other, lucky things that you've ever, prepared for.
Right.
So I would try to make sure you take your luck all the way to the top level, to the fourth kind of luck, and operate around, luck level 3 and luck level 4 when doing all these things. Just to kind of give you my take on it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a good place to leave it for this week. Next week, we're going to talk about, I don't know, what do you...
next week, are we teasing them?
Yeah, we can do that.
All right. So next week, let's talk about minimal viable dose.
All right.
It's a great topic. It has
Yeah.
nothing to do with medicine or
Nope.
drugs.
Nope.
Minimum viable dose is basically understanding when it's time to just release it.
Right.
When is it time to say this is done?
Yeah.
When is it time to decide my mix is finished? When
Yeah.
is it time to say this album art is ready to go? And it also applies to product creation. If you are a musician, you are also a product creator. Maybe you don't know this. This is something I actually teach in the 80/20 course. But if you're not creating products and you don't know how to launch those products and you don't know when the minimum viable product exists in order to begin your testing, right? That's what we talked about today. You got to test, right? You got to create
Right.
your luck. Well, if you don't understand that, then you're going to have a hard time actually getting sales and a hard time making money with your music. So I think that's a great topic. If you guys want to learn about that, just put a yes in the chat. If you guys are like, I hate that topic, let us know. Maybe we'll change it. But that's what I think we should talk about next week. I think it's a really valuable topic.
I think it's a very valuable mindset to have of like shipping before you're ready, so you can but still improve. You can always improve some of it after the fact, or putting something out there means that you can move on, instead of like, if you don't put things out there, you're kind of stuck and without being able to go forward. So yeah, let's do that. Well, all right, guys, thanks so much for tuning in. It's been fun as always. Hope you found some inspiration in finding your own luck. And for more from me, you can download my Mix Finisher cheat sheet, my free Mix Finisher cheat sheet that goes through my 7-step process to help you finish your mixes at mixfinisher.com. Check out the books, Step by Step Mixing at Step by Step Mixing, and You Get What You Give at yougetwhatyougivebook.com. And sign up to the email list at Audio Issues to get more stuff from me, and tune in and follow us here to never miss an episode. And that's how you can interact more with me.
Yeah, and thank you so much for tuning in, guys. Really appreciate your engagement and just joining the discussion. That's the reason we love to do this every week. Thanks, Israel. Alex, get your musician luck level to 4. I think that's when you max out. So thanks for that. But yeah, I would love to connect with you guys over at indiemusicacademy.com, where I have a free workshop on music marketing. So you can get that just by navigating over to the website. Link should be in the description below. If it's not, I'll add it in. But that's indiemusicacademy.com/workshop. And we tune in, or we go live, and hopefully you tune in every Tuesday. So if you want to be a part of the next one, we'll see you 1 week from now. And thanks so much for your time today. We know your time is valuable and hope this was worthwhile for you. So appreciate it.
Yeah. Take it easy, guys. Have a good week.
All right. See ya.